Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reading Reddit While Pink. The posts I'm reading from today are from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to help set up my friend's wedding after he lied about the start time? And the community voted this person not the asshole. My male friend, I'm male too, you two should fuck each other. Is that what you want to hear? Invited me to his wedding and told me to be there at 10 a.m. I turned up with my wife around 9:45 a.m. Why would there ever be a wedding at 10 a.m.? Common sense. Use it. The wedding was actually at midday. He deliberately got me there 2 hours early so he could rope me into putting up gazebos, dragging tables out, and carrying loads of equipment up a steep hill. I turned up smart, ready for a wedding. He basically said he picked me because I'm strong and do DIY for a living. I'm not the best man. Oh, well, don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sure you're trying your best. I'm not even one of his 6 ushers, none of which were there yet because they were getting ready! 2 exclamation marks. He had about 100 guests he could have asked. I wasn't even invited on the stag. He could have easily sorted the setup the day before or hired people. He had about 100 guests he could have asked. So why are any of the other guests more deserving to do this than you? Why are you more special than everybody else that you shouldn't be asked to help set up? Anyway, I said, no, definitely not. I've actually had some neck and back troubles recently. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a little too mean. Sometimes it's a little too mean. I try to dial it back a little bit. I'm sorry about your neck and back troubles. And I was already dressed for the wedding. I also didn't want to leave my wife sat on her own for hours while I did construction jobs. Why? That's what you do the whole rest of your life. That might have been a little too mean also. I apologize. I said he should have asked in advance. He did ask you in advance. And I could have said no so he could make other plans rather than tricking me. So did you not receive an invitation to this wedding that all the other 100 guests would have received? I don't care. I don't really care about this enough to understand fully why this situation has happened. I'm just going to keep reading and answer the very question that's posed by the title here. Okay. I should have asked in advance, so I could have said no. His response was, hey, dude, I'm giving you a free meal later. You could at least lend a hand to earn it back. I told him I traveled a long way, paid for a hotel, and bought a wedding gift so I could be a part of his day. Being invited doesn't mean I also owe him manual labor on the morning of the wedding while I'm in my suit. He was cold with me during the reception and made a point of jokingly bitching about me to whoever I was chatting to throughout the day. At one point, I'd had enough and said, serves you right for being a cheapskate about your own wedding, and everyone clapped. It doesn't say that, but that's what he wanted to say. Here's your cookie award of the episode. In a jokey way in front of his bride. And then, of course, at the end here, he just throws in but now I'm second guessing myself, which he absolutely is not at all. It seems like you've got this all figured out completely. You've constructed this elaborate fantasy where you were right about everything, and that's great. That's what this subreddit is for. Congratulations. But I will say, all right, okay, fine. Because everybody was telling me that I just rag on the OP in general anyway. I hate the fact that I just said that. I hate the fact that I just said OP. It makes me want to barf. But nevertheless, I'm trying with this one to be a little bit more measured, a little bit more balanced. Because I am pink after all today. So I have to approach this a little bit differently. So am I the asshole or was I right to say no? And can I just also explain here, the reason why I like to rag on the OP, The reason why I like to rag on the person who posted this is because I usually take these not the assholes from the top comments or the top sorted. And so, I feel it's at my duty, because a lot of times what happens is there will be no dissenting opinion, and all the dissenting opinions just get downvoted into hell by the hive mind. So I feel that I have a duty to play devil's advocate and advocate for the devil, figuratively speaking. Not the devil, but just kind of like, sort of provide a different perspective that these Reddit people could not normally get from their way of doing things. So that's all. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she doesn't have the right to mourn or go to her ex's funeral after what she did? That's pretty strong. And the community voted this person not the asshole, so let's see what's going on here in this situation. Let's get to the bottom of this. New account, since my daughter does know my other account. That is the most horrifying sentence I have ever read, and someone needs to immediately call a social worker. When my daughter was in school, she became friends with a girl named Kelly. They stayed close throughout college. Okay, so the daughter is an adult, and the poster is also an adult, or an old person. This just became incredibly sad. And my daughter was even one of Kelly's bridesmaids when she got married. To explain where my daughter's behavior came from, my ex-husband cheated on me repeatedly, and our marriage ended horribly. Oh, great. My daughter doesn't speak to her father anymore, and she absolutely despises cheating. About 7 years ago, my daughter became convinced that Kelly was cheating on her husband. She started harassing Kelly online and essentially blew up her life. By the time my daughter found out that the man she had seen Kelly with was actually a relative, they were at a fancy restaurant together, it was too late. Kelly's marriage had already fallen apart, and because we live in a very religious community, she was ostracized by many people. They had a huge falling out, and it basically came down to my daughter ruining Kelly's life. Kelly blocked her on everything and eventually moved away. Kelly hated my daughter after that, and so did her mother. I still run into Kelly's mother occasionally, and she has made her feelings about my daughter very clear. The issue is that Kelly recently passed away. My daughter found out through a Facebook post, and the funeral is this weekend, 2 states away. My daughter was planning to attend the funeral, and I told her that I thought it was a terrible idea. She said she needed to go, and I told her again that she shouldn't. We got into an argument, and she said she had every right to mourn her friend and attend the funeral. I told her that she really didn't have the right to mourn Kelly or go to the funeral because Kelly hated her after everything that happened and because my daughter had destroyed her life. She hasn't spoken to me since. Now I'm wondering if I should warn Kelly's family that my daughter might show up at the funeral or that I might be in the wrong here. Again, there's another bet that there's another am I the asshole bingo free space. They just throw in a sentence right at the end that's like, but maybe I'm wrong about everything and maybe I actually wasn't right about everything and I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't care. How about that as an answer? IDGAF. How's that? They should add that to the options list. You're an asshole for not institutionalizing your daughter or having a hysterectomy so you couldn't even have one in the first place. I am really, really sorry. That was a little too mean, I will admit, and I sincerely apologize. So let me just take a look here at what the next post is. Okay. Am I the asshole for not getting my daughter-in-law coffee because she hates tea? Well, then you don't want to be around me, Henny. Am I the asshole for not getting my daughter-in-law coffee because she hates tea? And the community voted this person not the asshole. Okay, well, I got my answer. I am going to send this to my son and tell him we need to talk ASAP. My son got back to me and told him we will talk in a bit. Okay. That's all it said. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. It's still on the next page. Well, just got off the phone with my DL. Why are they putting the edits at the top of the post? Sorry, let's start from the beginning. My daughter-in-law loves coffee. She's the type of person that will go get coffee every morning. You mean everybody else on the face of the planet Earth? It is not uncommon that if she ever goes out to get coffee, she will pick up coffee for other people as well. Yes. No, that's not uncommon. Okay, all right. The issue is that she will never get me a tea or any tea lattes. As she puts it, it is leaf water that she doesn't want to waste her money on. I am asking her to get a $5 thing of tea, or if she is already picking up everyone's $8 fancy coffees. I'm asking for a tea latte or an iced tea that I literally can't make at the time. So she comes back with everyone drink but mine. It is really frustrating on trip because I will be driving most of the time. She takes everyone orders and goes in while I am either getting gas or snacks for the trip to come back without any caffeine. Then I have to go into the shop to get my drink. Oh, no. There have been so many times she asked in the chat if anytime somebody wants something at Starbucks. I tell her what I want, and then she comes back with everyone drink but mine. Talking to her doesn't help. She just claims I can make it at home. To the issue, I was going over to babysit the grandkids for my son and daughter, so 4 adults. I sent a text saying I was stopping at Starbucks and asking if they wanted anything. This is the exact same thing she does. They gave me their orders and I decided that I wouldn't get my daughter-in-law her drink to make a point, basically. Really mature way to handle this situation. I got to where everyone was and gave everyone their drink, besides my daughter-in-law. She was pissed, and I pointed out this is the same thing she does with me all the time. She told me it wasn't the same and I can make tea at home. I told her to make her coffee at home and the pot was right there. We got into a fight and my son told me to apologize and get her drink. I told him no, and I am tired of this. I have spoken to them multiple times, and if she doesn't change what she does, I will never get her drink when I get drinks for others. They left, but after babysitting, I am still hearing about it. I need your opinion. Holy fucking shit. Yes, you are the asshole because this is... Wait a minute. Okay, let me finish this. Let me just finish the rest of this because there are updates. Well, just got off the phone with my daughter-in-law and son. Yes, they have seen this post. I sent it to them. Great. What a wonderful family. My daughter-in-law apologized, and this issue has nothing to do with me. I thought she just hated me. I think you might have borderline personality disorder. I think everybody in the situation might have borderline personality disorder. It's just something to consider. But this has to deal with her own mother. They have a bad relationship, and when they married, didn't wish for that type of relationship to happen again with me. I also didn't help that her sister has a horrible mother-in-law, so she thought she needed to be distant and cold off the start. So yes, she was being rude on purpose. This post kind of opened her eyes, and that she was acting like her mother acts. You know what would have maybe made this even easier? You could actually cut out this middle step that you've done and have a conversation. A conversation is a lot like a Reddit post, only you say the Reddit post directly to the person in your real life who you want to say the things to. Just give it a shot once in a while. It's kind of cool because you don't have to make the Reddit post first and then send them the Reddit post. Jesus fucking Christ. My son apologized and realized he went too far in the other direction, in the direction of support your spouse. He admits, well, yeah, I mean, his wife has BPD, so he's probably scared shitless and just does whatever the hell she wants. He admits he did the easy thing because we don't live together. I informed them I won't put up with being disrespected anymore, and hopefully nothing backtracks. We seem good now, but I have a feeling more talks will happen. Anyways, thank you, Reddit. This was helpful. Yoinks. Yoinks on that one. Oh, Jesus. Am I the asshole for asking our wedding photographer to remove? Hey, I was one of those. Sort of. Sometimes I would do still photos, but for the most time I was doing video, but sometimes I'd help with photo if we were really slammed, you know. Because photo is easier than video, because with a video you have to take 24 photos in a single second, whereas a photo person only has to take one. And that's what I always told them, and I said, that's why you're an inferior artist. My husband and I recently got married, and there has been tension between me and his family for years. I won't unpack all the history. I have a bad feeling that you're going to anyway. But I've often felt like I'm tolerated as his partner rather than actually viewed as part of the family. Because of that history, my husband and I specifically discussed family formals before the wedding. We agreed we wanted both of us included in the formal family portraits. If we took photos with my family, he was included. If we took photos with his family, I was included. We were getting married, and we wanted the portraits to reflect that. To be clear, I do not expect to be in every photo my husband takes with his family. I don't care if he takes pictures alone with his mom or siblings. This was specifically about the formal portraits at our wedding and what they represented. There was one grouping we specifically did not want. My husband, his mom, and siblings without me. Our photographer knew this. I was there for basically all the family formals, but stepped inside briefly to get a drink, alcoholic. During the few minutes I was gone, this exact photo was taken. Fast forward to receiving our wedding gallery. We posted some photos online, and my mother-in-law called to ask if we'd gotten the gallery back, despite clearly knowing we had. She asked for the link and specifically said she wanted the photo of herself with all of her children. The one formal family photo I wasn't in. That already bothered me, but something my bridesmaid told me after the wedding made it worse. She had been helping organize family photos and told my mother-in-law she was needed for another picture. Mother-in-law didn't want to take it without all her children, which is completely fair. But she pointed toward me and said, well, I already took pictures with that girl being her son's wife, at our wedding. That's why this isn't about needing to be in every picture. It's not really about the picture at all. It's about the principle. I wanted to feel valued enough that my husband's family would want me in their family portrait. Instead, I'm being referred to as that girl. Well, you are that girl. You're that girl. Isn't that a good thing that people say? I hear people say that all the time, supportively. She probably meant it like that. She probably was like, she is that girl, like in a good way, That's what I think she meant. So maybe if you could actually maybe try to not look at situations so cynically and give people the benefit of the doubt and not interpret people's words with the least charitable possible interpretation. Because she was probably like, oh, she is that, I don't like to say this word normally, but no, I won't say it. In any other context, I wouldn't think twice about a mom wanting a photo with her children. But given the history, her comment, and the fact that my husband and I had specifically agreed we didn't want that grouping at our wedding, it felt different. So after she asked for it, I contacted our photographer and had the photo removed from the online gallery. If I could just clarify that a minute. You contacted the photographer, and the photographer removed the photo from the online gallery. Give them some agency here. Also, again, you people always never know what you want. When you're standing there at that wedding with that camera, everybody and their fucking grandma's like, I'm coming. And then you change your mind halfway through. So it's like, yeah, we're going to get all the options. We're going to get all the options. We're going to get every single fucking thing you can possibly need. So that afterwards, you or anybody else like you can't play these fucking games that do not involve us at all. Sort out your bullshit amongst yourselves and do not drag the art of photography into it. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter her bio mom didn't love her more than drugs, and that's why she couldn't see her? Let's skip this one. Am I the asshole for not turning off what I was watching on a flight? I was on a flight to the US last week, and it was my first transatlantic flight since I'm from the UK, and all of my previous holiday have just been to Europe. Due to this, it was the first time I had a screen to watch movies and TV shows, etc. This is what I'm talking about, people. It's like they can't even be without their fucking screen for a few hours. I saw that they had TV show, which I'm not going to give free advertising to. And it was a show I've been meaning to watch for a while, so I started watching it. There were some sex scenes and other types of scenes in the show. Yeah. A woman tapped me on the shoulder and said I should turn it off as her son can see my screen and it's not appropriate for him. I pointed out that all I'm doing is watching a show that's available, and it's not up to everyone else to accommodate her son. Actually, it is up to everybody else to accommodate her son, and they have a little thing at the beginning of the show that says, we have edited this program for content, but please be mindful of those who are around you. She again said her son shouldn't have to see it, but I just said she should keep her son occupied and focus on him instead of dictating what other people are allowed to watch. She said I was out of line and shouldn't get watching a show like that when there are kids nearby. But I just repeated she doesn't get to control what other people are watching. Am I the asshole for not turning it off? And of course, the community voted this person not the asshole, even though they are the asshole. You actually should not show sex scenes to children, believe it or not. I'm sorry, hot take, arrest me if you want, but it's true, okay? Can't put out this fire, I'm on fire, baby. Am I the asshole for showing up my brother's girlfriend by getting him a birthday gift he liked more and not warning her that I was a big gift? That I was getting a big gift? I, 25F, have a twin brother, 25M. Growing up, our favorite pastime was building Lego together. And let me guess, the rest of this story is going to be you regressing into childhood and getting a Lego set. Let me just say this before I even read the rest of it, because I'm going to try to predict what the problem is here. I'm guessing that you got your brother some Lego set that was really expensive and really big, and he loved it so much. And the wife is upset because he is already regressing into childlike behaviors, and he does not want you trying to pull him back into that. All right. Our family couldn't afford it often, so the sets we had were treasured, and we'd always buy bags of loose bricks from charity shops whenever we saw them. It was a major bonding time for us, making things together, and my brother claims that those days of playing with a Lego is what inspired him to go on and become an architect. It was our birthday on Friday, and we had a small thing with family. My boyfriend of 3 years, 27M, was there, and so was my brother's girlfriend of 2 years, 24F. During the gift exchange, we left each other's presents to last, as we always have, and opened our respective gifts. They were very nice and enjoyable. Nothing to complain about on either side. When we exchanged gifts, however, it led to some laughs and delight on both sides. Yeah, I bet it did. God. I got him the Neuschwanstein Castle Lego set, and he got me the Notre Dame Lego set. He clearly loved his gift and was going on about how excited he was to build it and how he'd be spending his next day off working on it instead of, I assume, tending to his relationship. He showed a lot more enthusiasm from this than the watch his girlfriend got him, even though he had clearly liked that too. Since then, his girlfriend has reached out to me insisting I tried to show her up deliberately by getting a gift that he'd like more, and how she was trying to treat him like an adult with her gift while I was encouraging him to be childish. You are encouraging him to be childish. Whether or not you have a problem with that is one thing, but you are doing that. So, let's not be in denial. She also thinks we somehow planned this gift exchange as we both got a Lego for each other. I had to tell her, no, it is just something we have always enjoyed together, and it's just natural we do this. I also told her that I had no intention of showing her up, but that if she really wanted to win the day with gifts, she should have considered his interests and not worried about what seems appropriate for an adult. She then pivoted to the fact that she is his girlfriend and I should have warned her I was getting a more expensive gift. I pointed out that my brother didn't warn my boyfriend, but she insists that shouldn't matter, that I should have. Was I in the wrong for not giving her warning and leading to her feelings shown up as a result? I have never felt the need to give warning when my brother dated, but maybe I should have. There's the throwaway. Maybe I'm actually wrong about everything, even though I clearly don't think that I am. All right. Here's the thing about this situation. And I know that this is going to sound like it's coming off really strong, but from a psychoanalytic perspective, I was a therapist for a very, very long time, and you have to understand me that this is just the truth. From a psychoanalytic perspective, your brother wants to have sex with you. From a psychoanalytic perspective, I'm talking about Freudian psychology here. But obviously he can't do that because, I don't know what happened in your childhood. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. But what I'm saying here is that, and I realize I'm sort of digging myself a hole, but trust me, I'm making a point. Your brother would love nothing more than for you to be his wife. That cannot happen, right? Because of society. And rightly so. I'm not saying that it should happen. I'm not saying that it's good. But what is happening here is that your brother is settling for the girlfriend because she is the closest that he can get to you without actually being married to you and dating you and all that other stuff, right? Unless she's very different from you, in which case he's probably just trying to work out the denial that he feels about the fact that, and listen, this is not specific to your situation. This is just psychology. I'm just saying psychology here. So you should be flattered, and also you should understand why the girlfriend is upset, because she knows that she'll never be you in his eyes. She knows on some level, psychoanalytically, that every time that they are doing stuff, he is probably, not consciously, but subconsciously wishing it was you. Yes. Yeah. Yep. So that's really all that's going on in this situation. And again, it's this is normal. This is the way that it is with everybody. This is just psychology. So, that being said, I think that it's just, it's just the way it goes. I don't know. Am I the asshole for refusing to write a recommendation for my former intern after what they did? I supervise interns at a small marketing company. Last summer, I mentored a college student for about 3 months. I spent a lot of extra time helping him improve because he was eager to learn. Oh, I bet he was, and I bet you were very helpful, and I bet he was very eager. And by the end of the internship, I thought we'd ended on good terms. A few weeks after the internship ended, another coworker sent me a screenshot of a local professional networking group. The former intern had posted a long rant about our company. Some of his complaints were fair, but he also claimed that I took credit for his ideas and that I deliberately gave him busy work so I would look better. I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. Neither of those things happened. I am dubious of that, but in fact, I had emails showing I'd credited him during meetings and had pushed management to let him work on bigger projects. I decided not to respond publicly because I didn't want to create more drama. About 6 months later, he emailed me saying he was applying for graduate programs and asked if I'd write him a strong recommendation letter. He said he'd always appreciated my mentorship and hoped I'd put the past behind us. I replied that I didn't think I was the right person to recommend him and wished him the best with his applications. He then sent another email saying I was being unprofessional by letting personal feelings interfere with his future. A mutual acquaintance also reached out and said I should either write the letter or at least do him the courtesy of explaining everything over a phone call. I don't think I owe anyone a recommendation, especially when I no longer feel I can honestly endorse them. Am I the asshole? Here's the problem. This is the problem with all management, especially management at a small marketing company, is that y'all really, I said once before a very famous Dan Henschel quote that I actually stole from Twitter, but all small business owners are all small business owners are mini Hitlers, which is true. And you are allowing your power. I'm going to guess that you have probably never felt power before in your life, or very little of it, and you were always kind of powerless. So now you have this power over these interns, and you're just sort of allowing that to consume you, you know? And he doesn't actually want you to write the recommendation. This is the thing that bosses also, it's like they're, the same kind of impulse that makes people think that the stripper loves them, or that the hooker wants to get married, The bosses genuinely think, this guy genuinely thinks that this person wants him to write a recommendation letter for him because he was such a good mentor to him. He wants you to write a recommendation letter because you have to attach something in the online application and you were the only person that he was his boss. He doesn't give a fuck if you actually do it. He doesn't give a fuck if you mean it. He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean any of this. So just write the stupid fucking letter and get over yourself. Maybe you did make some mistakes while you were managing him. Why are you not even willing to be receptive in any way to the problems and concerns that he raised? Sounds like everything he said was probably right. And that you are an emotional lunatic boss. Hitler. Fuck you. Am I the asshole for not apologizing to a friend over adding a food she did not/cannot eat to our group food delivery order? Great, food delivery apps. Probably the most caustic invention to the fabric of our society. The invention that I would say has single-handedly, and I'm including the atomic bomb in this, the invention that has single-handedly corroded the human spirit the most out of any other food delivery apps. There is no invention that is responsible for more horror, for more degradation of the soul on a mass systemic level than food delivery apps. Every time you use a food delivery app, you are becoming a worse person. Actively. One month ago, I hosted a movie night for my 5 girlfriends in my apartment. I consider all of them close friends since they are basically all the friends I have here. And they also went to my wedding. Okay, so they're your friends. Why are you thinking about this so hard? I had been planning this for over a month, and I was really excited to watch the movie for a second time with my friends for a girls' night in. Before the movie, a friend called to ask if it was okay to bring some fruit to make a drink. I told her yes, since most of us are okay with eating anything, and I thought it was a nice gesture from her part. The other friend I know for around 2 years brought dessert, which was great. However, she's a bit of a picky eater, and because the drink we made had fruits touching it and soda, she pointed that she needed to sit away because she could not even be near it. This made my other friend feel a bit bad because she had put a lot of thought into making this, but we were okay with it in the end. After the movie, we start talking on what to order, and we ask her first because we know it would be hardest to choose, and she chooses chicken. Then another friend mentioned she did not want chicken but wanted sushi. So we decided on order from 2 places. You order from 2 separate places on a food delivery app. Wow. Then the friend who wanted chicken asked if the chicken was only for her, to which I replied, no, we will all eat from both places except the other friend who does not want the chicken. Then she started to say we singled her out because she does not eat sushi and she would throw up if she does. We mentioned the other friend did not want chicken, so we were ordering something that at least all wanted to eat, and that the check will be divided only from the place each ate. God, if you're already going down this road, it's too late for any of you. Obviously, we will nor charge for something you did not want /ate. However, she continued to say it wasn't fair, and after some discussion deciding what type of chicken, she went into another room, got on her phone, and did not speak another word to the rest of us, only whispering to her best friend who was also invited. After eating awkwardly in a group, they both said they were going, and that was the last we spoke. This was 1 month ago. I sent a short message to the group chat thanking everyone for coming. She read, never reacted or replied. I then sent a reel to the same group chat. Again, no reply on her end. You're reading too much into this. I did not think it was such a big deal, but maybe I was wrong. Another crypto bingo, free space. We got bingo. Am I the asshole? Bingo. Maybe I was wrong. It says here, but maybe I was wrong. Am I the asshole for not apologizing or for taking the stand I took and have something each of the people who wanted specifically in order? Well, first of all, the movie must not have been very good if all of this happened right after. Jesus. I mean, what did you guys watch that allowed this to occur? You should have better taste in movies, because if you pick a really good movie, this kind of stuff doesn't happen. So, there's your first problem. You're the asshole for picking a bad movie. All right, this one's a little bit inappropriate. So I'm going to try to For 2 years, me, 21M, and my girlfriend, 21F, have experimented. And for 2 years, I haven't been able to make her... Ooh, and I'm censoring the word that it is. I'm asking for advice here because I'm out of it. I've been with my girlfriend for almost 2 years. I can finish almost every time during penetration. Short film by Dan Henschel, if you want to check it out. Penetration. There's also a second one. Penetration 1 and 2. Pretty good stuff. She gets really into it, does insane positions, says insane things. Like the sex is amazing. But now from her perspective, she says I shouldn't worry about this and that it'll happen eventually and it's not my fault, it's her fault. She's been saying this for the entire relationship. I feel like if I haven't been able to make her in 2 years, there's a very significant problem. I'll tell you something. I'm really going to try not to be mean. But the worst... let me just speak generally. The worst possible partner is somebody who wants pornographic intimacy. No intimacy, basically. But also is deliberately, almost as a factoid, wants to make the other person... Okay, when we experimented, I've done an oral, which she says is incredibly good. She's making that up. I'm sorry to tell you. We have even tried putting it in the back door. That's not what it says here, but that's what they're saying. The only thing that has helped her finish was using my tongue on... I don't think I can read this. The only thing that has helped her finish was using my tongue on her... while she uses a for some reason it gets her there. Well, yes, because it sounds like you're not really paying attention to her actual needs. You want to do this because you want it to make you feel better. You want to do this because it would be an achievement for you. You're not thinking about what's going to help her. You said earlier in this, she gets really into it, does insane positions, and says insane things. That's not going to help anybody get anywhere in that department. She's doing all that stuff because that seems to be what you want to do. All right. But with the she was never able to finish during sex. Only when she's alone. Okay, I can't read the rest of this, but I already made my point and you understand. Okay, we don't need that one. Let's just do one more. Am I the asshole for making a kid cry for not swimming well during the test? And the community voted this person not the asshole, so I would love to see what the hell this situation is. For context, I'm an 18-year-old lifeguard at my local pool in the United States Pacific Northwest. Well, then you basically don't have a job, right? I mean, how often can you really go to the pool during the summer in the Pacific Northwest? It's always cold and cloudy. And I have been working there for at least a few years. This summer, I have been on the swim test duty. The swim test consists of a patron swimming down 10 yards and back. Total 20 yards or 18 meters, while showing a fast/smooth freestyle crawl stroke. Is this written by AI? Why are you giving us all these details? We don't really need all these details about the intricacies of converting meters to yards. Voice is starting to go. I've been reading too fervently. Roughly a week and a half ago from today, there was this kid, 7 to 8 years old, who swam 10 yards down. Took them roughly 30 seconds, which is a little slow. Back, which took them roughly 1 minute and 30 seconds with a very, very slow freestyle. Wickety, wickety, wiki, 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 wiki. The freestyling. So before we go any further, my mentality for the swim test is, if I am up in the stand and saw this kid, would I be worried about them swimming in my zone or feel fine? So I ultimately fail this kid and say to him, hey, bud, sorry you failed the swim test, but you can always retake it in a few minutes or wear a life jacket. Then the kid starts crying his eyes out for the rest of the swim. When I get down from the swim test, my coworkers look at me like I am a psycho and tell me that I am messed up for failing this kid who couldn't swim, and tell me that I should teach the kid on how to swim, even though it's not my job to do that. Aren't you on swim test duty? I don't think I can make it through the rest of this. I'm going to really try. A week later from that day, I fail a different kid for the same reason as last time, not swimming well back 10 yards, and that kid starts crying, and my coach... Okay, well, if you're making two kids cry, then it might be something to do with you. Two kids... I can understand making one kid cry, because maybe the kid's just weird. But two kids... I'm starting to ask some questions. If it smells like shit everywhere you go, check the bottom of your own shoe. And the swim test, I don't know. Fuck it. That's it. Goodbye, everybody. Pink while reading Reddit. See you later.